Hello, it is Melody back again with week 4 check-in for The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I have a growth on my eye and I hate everything and everyone. This might actually be the shortest check-in that I've done so far. I know I keep looking at that side when the camera's actually there. I'm sorry. So week 4 is recovering a sense of integrity. The crux of this week really is what she calls reading deprivation. I will get into exactly what that means and how I chose to do this challenge, if you will. But I'll start from the beginning first. And I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, actually. And like I said, this is probably one of the shortest chapters. So beginning with recovering a sense of integrity, a lot of what is discussed is the importance of morning pages. And as we've been doing them for almost an entire month now, what changes and discoveries are being made through doing your daily morning pages? A lot of what is touched on here goes back to boundaries, which we've kind of been talking about, manifestation, and overall finding your authentic self. And as we were talking last week, being authentic in your emotions and thoughts and not allowing shame or the thought of what you should be feeling or should be doing take over from what you truly are actually thinking and feeling. We start with what she calls honest changes. And so she says that while working with the morning pages, we begin to sort through the differences between our real feelings, which are often secret, and our official feelings, those on the record for public display. So a big thing here is what we think we should feel, or even dismissing what we feel. So kind of what she was talking about also was the numbing of emotions and saying it doesn't matter, and actually admitting to what our true feelings are. Continuing, official feelings are often indicated by the phrase, I feel okay about that, parentheses, the job loss, her dating somebody else, my dad's death, etc., etc. But what do we mean by I feel okay? The morning pages force us to get specific. Does I feel okay mean I feel resigned, accepting, comfortable, detached, numb, tolerant, pleased, or satisfied? What does it mean? What does it mean? When you nod your head yeah, and you honestly know what does it mean? Continuing, she says, okay is a blanket word for most of us. It covers all sorts of squirmy feelings, and it frequently signals a loss. We officially feel okay, but do we? Do we really feel okay? And really, what is okay? And then she says that at the root of a successful creative recovery is the commitment to puncture our denial, to stop saying it's okay when it's in fact something else, and we admit, again, like we've been saying, how we truly feel, what we really think. And she goes over kind of some struggles you might face where she almost calls them kind of like temper tantrums. We'll get into these headspaces where maybe we are just not feeling up to doing the morning pages, and so we use certain things as a way to kind of evade them and not write them. She kind of says like any type of extreme emotion or experience can kind of be a trigger for avoiding those, and something to be mindful of as you continue. I have major farmer's tan right now. Yeah. So, and she kind of used a similar analogy last week, but she says, just as an athlete accustomed to running becomes irritable when he is unable to get his miles in, so too, those of us accustomed now to morning pages will notice an will notice an irritability when we let them slide. She says, we are tempted always to reverse cause and effect. I was too crabby to write them instead of I didn't write them, so now I am crabby. And she continues by saying that morning pages perform a spiritual chiropractic. They realign our values. It's a gateway into discovering your true self, into embracing your authenticity. Basically, you're kind of forced to look at those things and face them when you are writing your morning pages. Whereas in everyday life or with friends or whatever, it's easy to brush them off, numb them out, say they don't matter, be apathetic. So through identifying all of these things and through these discoveries, through these accepting of emotions, we find a way to express ourselves. But not only that, we find ourselves, and therefore that is what catapults us into being able to express ourselves once we have actually found our identity through doing these tasks, doing your artist day state doing the morning pages. She says, if you want to work on your art, work on your life. And one thing she also touches on in regards to the morning pages, something that we've also been discussing the past couple of weeks, is boundaries. So morning pages might challenge our thinking here and make us question if we've really been respecting our boundaries, if we've been enforcing our boundaries, and maybe what those boundaries are. So she says, the process of identifying a self inevitably involves loss as well as gain. We discover our boundaries, and those boundaries, by definition, separate us from our fellows. As we clarify our perceptions, we lose our misconceptions. As we eliminate ambiguity, we lose illusion as well. We arrive at clarity, and clarity creates change. So some of the things she says is like, maybe as you're writing your morning pages, you're starting to realize that you hate your job, you've outgrown your job, and you finally reach a point where you're no longer in denial about it. You're going to accept that and put a plan of action in where I'm going to actively search for a new job. I'm going to find a new career path. Maybe it's a toxic relationship. You've been kind of avoiding the reality and you come to the conclusion, well, maybe we need couples therapy, or maybe it's really just time to separate. And then another one she says is feeling bored with yourself or bored with your life. As I was saying before, we're not only discovering these things, admitting stuff, and pushing past our denial, but we're also then realizing that we can find solutions and we can do plans of action to somehow help us alleviate these things, overcome them, or make a change in our lives or in ourselves. With her one example of boredom in your life or with yourself, she says, I am bored of me. It would be fun to learn French. So, you take these things that you're finally realizing you have a problem with, and you're like, well, there is something I can do about it. Maybe it's small, maybe it's something huge, but I can do something to find more joy, to find more satisfaction. That's one of the big things she speaks on about the morning pages and why they're so important and why to stay consistent with them. And she says, we often hear the phrase, no pain, no gain. The nasty slogan has it, and we resent this pain no matter what gain it is bringing to us. And this kind of ties back into how I said where we get comfortable in our complacency. What's familiar and comfortable is often what we'll choose over something that actually could even be more beneficial for us. So she refers to a Sanskrit word called, I believe, kriya, maybe kriya, Kriya. They are cries of the soul as it is wrung through changes. So she kind of gives some examples. It's no wonder that you get a bad case of the flu after you've broken up with your lover, or it's no wonder that you come down with a really bad cough and this, that, and the third when you've neglected your health to meet an unreachable work deadline. Our health will be affected, our emotions will be affected, our thoughts will be affected when we're neglecting things, when we're not respecting our boundaries, when we're pushing ourselves too hard for something we probably don't even want or something that's not even beneficial for us. She says, always significant, frequently psychosomatic, kriyas are the final insult our psyche adds to our injuries. Get it? A kriya asks you. And she says, get it, colon. You can't stay with this abusive lover. You can't work at a job that demands 80 hours of work from you. You can't rescue a brother who needs to save himself. In 12-step groups, she says, kriyas are what they call surrender. People are told to just let go. Thus is the significance of the morning pages of the artist dates. We prioritize ourselves. We prioritize our creative endeavors. We prioritize our inner child. We feed it. We fill the well. And in doing so, we come to these epiphanies. We accept the reality. We start being okay with what our real emotions and thoughts are. In short, she says, the morning pages point the way to reality. This is how you're feeling. What do you make of that? And I'm going to read this next passage pretty much verbatim from what she says. I actually really like this. She says, people frequently believe the creative life is grounded in fantasy. The more difficult truth is that creativity is grounded in reality, in the particular, the focus, the well-observed, or specifically imagined. As we lose our vagueness about ourselves, our values, our life situation, we become available to the moment. Remember, paying attention. It is there in the particular that we contact the creative self. Until we experience the freedom of solitude, we cannot connect authentically. We may be enmeshed, but we are not encountered. Art lies in the moment of encounter. We meet our truth and we meet ourselves. We meet ourselves and we meet our self-expression. We become original because we become something specific, an origin from which work flows. As we gain or regain our creative identity, we lose the false self we were sustaining. The loss of this false self can feel traumatic, and maybe a thought of I don't know who I am anymore or I don't recognize me may occur. So I really liked this idea of solitude and having this kind of isolation, and not in a negative sense where maybe you isolate to ignore problems or ignore conflict, but having a peaceful type of sanctuary to rest in and to be yourself and be alone in, where you can recharge, recuperate, and focus on you, your creativity, your projects, whatever it is you might want to do. I think that is so essential for anyone and everyone in life, to have moments of solitude, like she says, where you can really just be with yourself and focus on that and not have a bunch of noise and distractions around you, not find ways to fill the void. It's so important that you find a way to actually be alone with your thoughts and feelings without relying on other things to kind of make up for that, without relying on TV, this, that, and the third, and being okay in solitude and silence in your aloneness instead of having something happening at all times of the day, every second of the day. With this discovery of self, with this rediscovery, maybe all of these kind of shift your perspective. Maybe they change your tastes in things. Maybe you find yourself getting rid of clutter in your house, throwing away outfits you've never worn or stuff that doesn't fit you anymore that you've just been holding on to, changing things, redecorating, and that kind of, in a way, is an example of the change that's happening within you as well and within your life. Without even realizing it, you kind of get to a point where you just want to throw out shit or you just want to toss shit aside. In the moment, it might just seem like, no, I'm just taking care of a responsibility, but maybe looking deeper within, the reason you're finally taking care of that, or like you're finally donating that bag of clothes, is because you're ready to move on, you're ready to make a change, you're ready to shift something. I feel like I am pretty good at tossing shit. Now, this could also be like the opposite side of the coin here, where it's like maybe I am almost too eager to throw things out. Yeah, I just want to move on and get it out of my life or be done with it or not think about it, rather than actually sitting in it and considering what that means or what I'm feeling at the time. So maybe something to consider, maybe something I should think about. She also points out, which I think is important too, that change is always different. So some people might feel like been hit by a train going 70 miles per hour. Some people might feel like it's been really slow and gradual. It's always going to be different, but regardless of how slow, how fast, or this, that, and the third you feel like it is occurring in your life, change is happening. And oftentimes people on the outside notice it and can see it happening faster than you can yourself. In fact, she says that once we engage in the process of morning pages and artist dates, we begin to move at such velocity that we don't even realize the pace. Travelers on the artist's way are seldom aware of the speed of their growth. And because we are seldom aware of it, or because we don't see it happening necessarily, or we think we haven't changed at all, she says this is a form of denial that can tempt us to abort the recovery process that isn't happening to us. Oh yes, it is. And as I said last week in my check-in, that I've been having a lot of dreams and actually like remembering them in really great detail. She says your dreams will become stronger and clearer both by night and by day. You will find yourself remembering your nighttime dreams, and by day, daydreams will catch your attention. So I thought that was kind of interesting, because I was like, I have actually been really remembering my dreams in great detail and been able to write out what happened to them. I mean, I've always kind of been a daydreamer to begin with. Recently, if I do kind of catch myself in a daydream, it's more so about attainable creative things I want to happen. Just something I've noticed. Of course, because everything we've been talking about with the morning pages is self-acceptance, authenticity, this, that, and the third. She makes it a point to say that conditioned as we are to accept other people's definition of us, this emerging individuality can seem to us like self-will run riot. It is not. Each of us is a unique creative individual, but we often blur that uniqueness with alcohol, drugs, overworking ourselves, not having enough play, bad relationships, toxic sex, not being active, binging, not taking care of our sleep, too much consumption of TV or what have you. So all of these things, like I said before, is like filling this void and making sure we have some type of distraction. But of course, it is normal to yearn for some rest when you are moving so rapidly. What you will learn to do is rest in motion, like lying down in a boat. So your morning pages are your boat. They will both lead you forward and give you a place to recuperate from your forward motion. Again, don't forget to do your affirmation every now and then in your morning pages. Accept things in your life. Again, manifestation. Put it in writing. Say that you will receive good opportunities. Say you will recover and enjoy your new identity. Accept it, allow it to be given to you, and speak it into existence. And then finally, at the end of this is the major challenge and major assignment for the entire week, which is reading deprivation. Basically, what she's saying here is what we've been touching on this whole chapter: solitude, aloneness, not having these distractions, but instead to face yourself and be okay with aloneness and having empty space, being bored, honestly. And so her task was reading deprivation. Is that you go a whole week without reading almost anything: books, newspapers, articles, what have you. In this sense, I would say letters. If you were in school, she encourages you actually just like procrastinate as much as you can and not read shit if you can get away with it. Obviously, you know, don't fail your class, if you know what I'm saying. But you know, so but I'm like, at the time that this was written, texting and shit like that was not a thing. So I kind of wanted to modernize this in some type of way. I do read books, okay, you know what I'm saying, but I just feel like it's just not going to be a challenge for me. Like, I know that I'm going to be reading for my job, you know what I'm saying? I know that I have karaoke coming up. I can't just ignore the chat when I'm a team lead for this the day of it's happening, be like, oh, hey guys, I'm back, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that. So what I thought I would do instead is, yes, I will try to do as much reading deprivation as I can, but also I'm going to completely X out all social media. I'm going to not watch any YouTube at all. And eventually I was like, I gotta cut out video games too, because first like 2.5 days I was doing this, I was like, well, I could just fill everything else and just binge video games. So I was like, yeah, I gotta stop that. And I will say, I think that was kind of difficult because, you know, when I was getting bored, especially during work, because I work from home, I was like, well, I could just fucking play a video game right now. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of would like to do this challenge again and actually go the entire week with no social media, no YouTube, no video games whatsoever. Take some actual PTO and do it so that I'm not still distracted with work and other responsibilities like that, and I can actually use, you know, all of that alone time for creative stuff or just cleaning or what have you. Like I said, she makes a point of when you have X'd those things out, you know, you will find how much free time you really have and how much you were dedicating to all of these things that really are like not necessary. And this is not to like vilify social media or anything like that, but just realizing how much it actually consumes your life when you could be doing something else that is not pissing you off, not irritating you, you're not getting into online fights with people, you're not reading the news and just feeling devastated every single day at the fuck shit going on. And I think there's really something to be said about how addictive all of that is, even if it doesn't make us feel good. I'll touch on it more when I go over full tasks and assignments, but I mean, I will say that I actually really enjoyed not using specifically social media that often. She said the nasty bottom line is this: sooner or later, if you are not reading, you will run out of work and be forced to play. You'll light some incense or put on an old jazz record or paint a shelf turquoise, and then you will feel not just better, but maybe actually a little excited. And she said, if you can't think of anything else to do, just start doing the cha-cha.
Cha-cha real smooth. Turn it out.
That was week 4. So far, this has been my favorite week as far as tasks and assignments go. I did do all of my morning pages, and like I said, I've been having a lot of dreams, and so I've been writing those down in my morning pages in pretty nice detail. As far as my deprivation experience goes, it is kind of funny because it's almost like second nature just opening up Twitter or Instagram. It's like, you know, fucking breathing. Like, I don't even think about it, so I don't even realize I'm doing it, right? So there were times where like I caught myself just automatically going to Twitter or whatever, and I'd have to just immediately X out of it, which I found pretty funny actually, where it's like I wasn't even thinking of it. It was just like programmed to fucking open that shit. I did have to constantly catch myself and be like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not supposed to do this right now. I turned off all notifications for everything, so I was not getting any notification whatsoever. I actually really enjoyed not being on social media that much. As fun as it is, memes are fun, you know, reading stupid shit. I like watching TikToks, and it really is such a huge time consumer. And this has been talked about in so many articles and documentaries regarding social media and the addiction of it, but half the time it's like you're not even actually consuming anything. It's just the act of scrolling and just filling space in your life with just like the doom scroll. Like, I'm not even processing what the fuck is happening on the screen. I'm just scrolling. I'll even do that like on TikTok sometimes, where I'm just like scrolling through bullshit and I'm really not even like watching the video per se when I'm bored or I'm about to go to sleep sometimes, where it's like, oh, haha, funny, scroll. Oh, haha, oh, that's stupid, no. Completely detaching from that, like I will say, was actually very peaceful. Not every night, but I mean, that's probably like the best sleep I've gotten, because I wasn't sucked into it where I was neglecting going to sleep at the time I wanted to or whatever it was. Yeah, you kind of have this feeling of FOMO, like, oh, like what if something something happened and I'm missing out on it, but you'll always just find out about it when you come back after a week. It's not even really that long. So anyways, it's been about a week now since I have ended the deprivation, and I still have notifications completely turned off. Originally, I just had like certain things muted, but now I've actually just kept it all. When you don't get the notifications constantly to your phone, you will be surprised how little you actually go and check on things. So, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I think it was a good challenge. I definitely think probably, like she said in the book, something that's really hard for people to do, because I mean, there's just so much on social media, and the connection to people that you have there is at times feels like 24/7. You're never disconnected from people. You know, are we really even prioritizing ourselves when we're always connected on social media all the time at everyone's beck and call? Just say, I lost me place now. I did go on an artist date, and it was fun. You know, I went out to dinner, I got a free drink, I went to this kind of thingamabob, rinky-dink record store and just kind of window shopped. It was kind of cool. I definitely would go back there, so that was nice. Synchronicity, I honestly can't say I personally feel like anything stood out to me in that regard. I do feel like for week 4, a lot of my time was spent helping others or being caught up in other things in life, or stuff with friends, or like, you know, karaoke, where I feel like I was giving a lot of time and attention to those things instead. So I don't know. Like I said, I can't for certain really say I felt any synchronicity this week, but maybe I'm just not really recognizing it. For the tasks and assignments other than deprivation, so one of them was your ideal environment to live in, be in, create in. She encouraged you to put pictures of like what it would look like. I'll show you the pictures that I did. Focus, bit. Oh, there we go, there we go. Boom. Now this one. These. This picture. This one flaps up. Hold on. Aha. I really love rooftop terraces, maximalist decoration and design. I love earthy colors mixed with really bright and vibrant colors, plants everywhere, string light, ambient light, warm lighting. I really love Grecian villa style as far as architecture goes. The art stucco, if you play The Sims, you know. I really love buildings that just have character. I hate the cookie cutter, white side paneling bullshit that so much of America is. It's just so fucking boring. There's no personality. I hate that shit. I love color. I love vines creeping up the sides of buildings, on the fences and shit. Apparently it's bad for the infrastructure, but I love it. I think it's so beautiful. Very whimsical, fairy-esque. A city I would live in. I really love walkable cities that have a bunch of nightlife, a really pretty cityscape. I would love to live somewhere where you can walk 5 minutes and you have this cool strip mall area, restaurant, cafes, and people are just kind of out and about, and that's just kind of the lifestyle. I love that. I just like love the energy of that. I love feeling lost in a crowd and being invisible in a sense, or like blending in. On the opposite side, you can also find a way to stand out from the crowd and make yourself known. So that was just something I specified that I really liked, and that's kind of like my environment and my ideal space. One of the tasks she has is like encouraging you to remodel an area of your house to really make it your creative zone and your safe space, which I do have a spot in my house I would like to actually organize and start decorating and not have it look like shit. So that is a task I want to do. I haven't really started on it, but I do have some ideas and I've saved some stuff that I want to buy. So, and then I can finally go back to my one task that I wanted to do, which was hang up a bunch of my fucking artwork and actually put it in frames, because I have so much fucking artwork to hang up that I have not done shit with. One of her other things is plan for an extended artist date, so almost like a vacation day, which I do plan on doing. I think I'll probably make that happen near the end of this month or maybe mid-July. There's a couple other ones that are just kind of small things to journal about and self-reflect on. Two of the ones that I really liked were going back to the time travel task that she's been giving us. So one of them was describe yourself at 80. What did you do after 50 that you enjoyed? Be as specific as possible. And then the task was to write a letter to your current self from you at 80. And then she basically had another time travel, which is like the opposite. So instead of 80, it's remember yourself at 8 and then write a letter from yourself at 8 to your current self. I thought what would be fun is to read the two letters I wrote, and then we'll call it a day. Before I read the letter, I said I would still have all my piercings and tattoos. Hopefully by then my full sleeve and half sleeve would be completed. I'd still be coloring my hair red. Would I be married? I don't know. It might be single. I noted that it's hard to picture that because at times I feel isolated from a relationship with a man because so many of them want to live on their legacies and have children and have huge families, and I don't want that. And I feel like so many men are pressed on creating families and shit that they're not really open-minded to not having that in a relationship. And I said some of the things I hope that I would have done by now: would release a greatest hits album, go on a goodbye retirement tour, have my own garden where I grow fruits and vegetables, learned another language or maybe more than one, seen every world wonder, had sex with someone way younger than me, found my forever home, and I'd be the cool aunt. So my letter from 80-year-old Melody to 31-year-old Melody. One of the first things you're probably thinking is, oh my god, I have 50 more years of this shit. I know. The existential crisis is strong, and I know when you actually think of the concept of dying that it deeply unsettles and frightens you. But hey, that's not what I'm here to talk about. And let's be honest, you don't even know if you'll make it to 80, so there's that. Luckily, your family has a pretty strong track record of overstaying their welcome on Earth, so you'll probably live to like 90 and some change. Death aside, you know you're meant for more than just some mediocre, unfulfilled 9-to-5 life. You've known since you were a child you were meant for greater things. You just felt it in your gut and in your soul. Remember how you felt when you listened to your first Hillary Duff song? Exactly. Don't let go of that. You're a fighter, so it goes without saying, but keep fighting. You deserve to accomplish your dreams, so quit procrastinating and finish your fucking music. It's good, you're good, stop doubting. I know that you're sick of struggling to just stay afloat and support yourself, but you'll figure it out, you always do. If there's one thing you're gonna do, it's figure some shit out and be too prideful to ask for help. Hey, at least you recognize it. But you could try asking for help every once in a while. Just saying. You have a gift to share with the world, so use it for good. Your music has soul. People will resonate with it. People will hear what you have to say and they will feel seen. Haven't you always wanted that? To give people connection and understanding through your music? Okay then. I know that your biggest fear is the vague idea of failure and being a nobody. I know you fear trying so hard and putting in so much work and having it amount to nothing. Well, sitting on your couch, smoking weed, and criticizing yourself to hell and back is certainly not going to help your case. You have what it takes. You've let the world steal your joy and passion once before. Steal it back and never give it back. You have to believe in yourself. I believe in you. Your grandma believed in you. Uncle Larry believed in you. I could go on. Your time is coming. I know you feel like you've been waiting forever. I know you feel like you're running out of time. You always feel like you're running out of time. Cue Hamilton's song. Why do you run like you're running out of time? If that's the case, grasp it instead of letting it slip through your fingers. Besides, how are you supposed to travel all over the world, go on elaborate vacations, and experience life if you don't become a famous artist? Get it together, bitch. Sincerely yours, 80-year-old Melody. Moving on. 8-year-old me. A couple of things I listed that I was into at 8 years old, just facts about myself. I was homeschooled when I was 8. My best friend was Catherine. I loved Bratz and My Scene dolls, though I think I was probably beginning to phase out of the doll life. I loved Shrek, of course. I loved Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, WB, PBS, CBS, Fox, ABC. They did all the morning shows for kids. Neopets. I was a Neopets master. I was deeply into anime at this point and manga, Sailor Moon being my number one, but Inuyasha, DBZ. I love Totally Spies, Power Rangers. I was a Digimon girls. At this time, because I was still really, really involved in my church, I was definitely doing Awana still and VBS. If you know, you know. Just some fun facts about me. From 8-year-old Melody to 31-year-old Melody. Sup, geezer? You're old as fuck now. I'm assuming you have your own mansion and you're married by now. It's okay if not, but you should probably figure that out soon. I just finished another episode of Sailor Moon. I'm not sure who I'd rather be, Usagi or Lizzie McGuire. Either way, they're both my idols and I want to be just like them when I grow up. I'm thinking of learning guitar because you don't see a lot of girls playing guitar. Everyone I know makes it seem like it's something only boys can do, but I think that's dumb. They don't say boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider for no reason after all. Just saying. I'm still being homeschooled right now, so it kind of sucks sometimes because all my other friends go to school and live farther away from me. We did move out of my grandma's house a couple of years ago. Do you have any pets? Right now, we have our 2 guinea pigs, our dog Shaggy, and our cat Midnight. She was a stray, but we took her in. Shaggy is definitely one of my best friends. I hope he stays with us forever. I rented the Digimon movie soundtrack from the library, and it's pretty much one of my favorite things to listen to right now. I'm a Digimon Pokemon fan. It's way better than Pokemon, but most people don't seem to think so. Pokemon can't even talk for starters, so... My brother and I also started playing the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, but we still need to build our decks up. It's pretty fun though. I'm not that good at it, at least not yet. I also really like computer games. Barbie and Cartoon Network have really fun games. I really want a GameCube, so I think I'm gonna put that on my Christmas list. I guess that makes me a nerd, but who cares? I also started playing Nancy Drew games with my friend Carrie. They're really fun, and some of them are kind of scary, but I like it. Do you still play games? What are they like now? Anyways, I hope you actually end up going to a real school. I feel like I don't really have many friends like I used to, and the other kids in my neighborhood make fun of me, so I usually just ride my bike around by myself now. I don't mind it too much though. I think when I grow up, I want to be a pop star like on Disney Channel. I love singing, and I'm still doing choir at church. Would you think I'm dumb for wanting that? What do you do? Do you still want to be a pop star now that you're old? I want people to think I'm cool. Pop stars are cool. Well, I hope you made your dreams come true. Well, I guess our dreams technically. Don't forget about me. Also, why is math so hard? Love, 8-year-old Melody.